Hello, hello, hello. This is your host, the Jim and Made Easy show. Not Jim and Easy, it's Jim and Made Easy now.
Jim and Made Easy.
This Pink Pig, Patty. With me, I've got one of my best friends in the world, one of my oldest friends, other than the kids I grew up with or went to university. I've known TBEAR probably longer than
20.
How many years is it?
21 years, man. Probably.
21 years. Well, yeah.
97?
No, it was September 98. We just passed the
98.
20-year anniversary of me coming out here for the second
I
time.
was 97. That's right.
Yeah. So, TBEAR, my challenge out to the world is, as far as it goes into the CrossFit space, we've all kind of got out of the space, but we started in there and we're still an affiliate. I think he's the longest, oldest standing coach, still standing. It's a full-time job that he doesn't own the business, but he's been a coach in the business for, what is it, 13?
13 years.
Yeah, so 13
plus years. Yeah,
it's a long time.
September.
Tell us, maybe T, give us a little background. We got a beer going here, by the way. A little sociable here. It's quitting time. Cheers, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
No worry.
Yeah, give us the background on where you grew up and bring us up to the point where me and you met 20 years ago.
Where I grew up, Southern Alberta. Went to LCI there. Played, I guess we were provincial champs in football 3 years.
TBEAR was the quarterback and the kicker.
Kicker, punter.
Danny White style.
Still holds some records on the punt, anyways. And a 49-yard field goal at the end.
49-yard field goal
before halftime. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
If you can't tell, TBEAR is about 5'7" or maybe 8 on the tops. Maybe not even, right?
I'll give you that.
So he's got to throw over the linemen and stuff. It's kind of like a Doug Flutie thing.
I was a rolled out quarterback, or else I was just hoping my guy's there. So grew up small town Lethbridge. Went to U of A.
That's pretty good.
Got a engineering degree, civil engineering degree there. And then from there, worked with the government for a little bit. And then off to big corporate America, working for Johnson Controls for 8-9 years.
Was it that long? You were there that long, right?
I was 97 to 2005.
Right.
So when I walked out of there.
Yeah. Walked out and not in one piece.
With a broken back. Yep. I'm not sure how far you want to get into this.
No, we don't have to go too far. I mean, basically, TBEAR and I met. It was my second company. I'd worked for another Fortune 100 company for, 3 or 4 years. 4 years, I guess. 2004 to 1994 until when they fired me. Was it 2000?
2000, yeah, probably around there.
2002, 2001. Yeah, I think I made it to 2001. It was 3 years.
I went off to Seattle in 2002.
Right, so that was 2001. Yeah, it was about 3 years, maybe 3.5. So that's a Fortune 100 company. The training program in there was unbelievable. We were all in different fields. My field was to go into business owners and show them, you need to look at this business as at least a 25-year life cycle minimum. We're trying to show them return on investments at 25 years. Well, so you look at things from a long-term perspective. And their training program is unbelievable, but they found a way to burn you out, I guess. Right?
Yeah.
They fired me before I got burned out. So it was fine.
They're extremely good in their training. But again, big companies want more and more of you every year after year. And I can remember my life turning into gigantic presentations, staying up till 4 a.m., worrying about them, out on golf courses, smoking cigars, trying to close deals. Back then, and it still is, it's about building relationships, right? That was probably
account management and building
relationships. Was everything there. So it was just getting to be everyone's buddy and in there. And that was my life there for you were crazy 9 years.
You were fully into it. I never quite bought into it as much. For the record, I got fired on the eve of I don't know what it would have been. I think the numbers then were almost $300,000 with that Bentall 5 job there. And then the whole Bentall thing was like, they fired me and didn't really realize I had been working on one deal for 3 years. They didn't really believe. And anyway, after they fired me, they called me up to try and save this deal. But basically, they changed your compensation program. Whenever you did too good, oh, we got another compensation program for you. You're going to love this one, right?
Yeah.
So, they found a way to change. It didn't matter what you did. They were going to change your compensation program. Didn't matter how well you did. You were only allowed to make so much money, which was pretty much whoever your boss was. That was the ceiling in a lot of places, right? Whereas, when you were down in Seattle, maybe it wasn't quite so much like that.
It still was, but your ability to reach out to and be a part of so many different opportunities was
way more opportunity in Seattle. Yeah.
It was mind-boggling if we weren't, putting in some serious hours. And we were also, we were doing quite well, right? We were rewarded quite well. A few BMWs and this and that, right?
Yeah, you were rolling there for a while. Rolling to hurt your back and burn out. So tell us at the end of that, just kind of like the end of that and the start of coming up here. So tell us about that, how that all went, and how did you become a Madlab coach for life or whatever we're fitness coach at the time, I guess.
Talking about this, for sure, it was my old job with them. I was out with clients golfing in a tournament. Unfortunately, little rock gave away. I had to jump off a small cliff looking for my customer's ball. Slammed my feet in the ground as well as my butt, and that started everything. Ended up basically herniating, and 2 places in my L5 S1 discs was basically burst, and I was misdiagnosed after that for about a month and a half. It wasn't until a nice Canadian chiropractor got me under some load and did an x-ray and found that I basically was a flat pancake there. Demanded that I get a MRI done. Got the MRI done. Big change in my life there, right? Meeting with a neurosurgeon telling me I have the potential to wear a bag. Potential that, hey, I might not be able to have sex.
Never have a heart on again.
So you gave me some numbers like 15%. I was like, no chance. 2 days later, went through the surgery. Don't regret it at all. Had to get that done. Got back to work, but the rehab coming off of back surgery is probably one of the most difficult things I've done in my life. It's really tough. And coming back from that, you really look at your life and you look at, what are you doing for your community and even my country. I was like, you know what? All these little buildings that we're building, I don't think I'm going to live here for the rest of my life. So I really started to kind of like, where's my future going? Right. And it didn't take but one job at Walla Walla Prison, where I won the job, very big job. And then it went out for rebid and I got shopped and I lost probably $40,000 worth of bonus money. Couldn't get over it. Bitched for about 3 weeks. And then it was just, I'm done. Couldn't do it. I was like, I'm not working these long hours. And there's a little bit of, in these big cities, there's collusion and this and that. And I was part of that. And just, it was my turn to just sit this one back. Hard thing to hear, especially when you're did all that work, I
didn't realize it was that job that actually finally ended it.
Oh, I can even remember taking Perry out into the parking lot. I just couldn't. I sat on my desk and I couldn't get focused, and I kind of know that was the time. It's like I always want to go out in a big roar.
Yeah.
Like, let's get a beer and I quit and all this. It didn't go. I thought I could do it, but no.
It's hard to do.
No, I did a little walk.
To go fuck you. Just walk out there, right?
No, I walked out in the parking lot, and then we spoke for a little while, and basically, that was my transition out of the United States and back to Canada. At that time, I was probably close to 190 pounds, out of shape. Back was still kind of bothering me. I'm not focused on my health and fitness there. And meanwhile, Patty's starting up this gym. We have friends down in Seattle that are doing it. It's just like even my roommate, Andrew, right? They're all doing it. I'm not doing it enough. But me coming back to Canada allowed me to just go head over heels into it daily.
So your back was still not rehabbed really then, right? Like,
no, it was kind of, I was introduced, you know, before I got surgery and before I moved back, met Greg Glassman, right? He gave me some ideas on how I should be deadlifting and squatting, and then got me to talk to a few Navy SEALs that have had some bad times that he knew. And basically after that, it was like me just considering that, hey, is this the way I should go? Or should I continue to go to physio and chiropractor and this and that? And lo and behold,
deadlifting, right?
Deadlifting and squatting really slowly, lightweight, did huge benefits for me.
Yeah.
Unbelievable benefits, actually, because once I got into a structured program and committed to it, my sciatica went away. Just my mental health was, you know.
So I'll interject there. So when TBEAR, so he was going down a path with the back injury and, you know, not sleeping and drugs, the whole thing to get over the pain. I remember you going down that path. And I remember going down to Seattle and said, dude, they're going to drive you right off the cliff here. You shouldn't even been working then. They shouldn't have allowed you to work. It was crazy. TBEAR was in a fucking hot tub.
I did. Yeah, I sold the jobs
in hot tubs. So TBEAR's got his laptop, some kind of a fucking plank across the top of it, doing deals naked or the rest of the time in his underwear, and doing these deals and everything. I go, dude, this is not going to end good. This thing, they should. And I remember I called up someone from the company. I mean, I'd been fired from there, and you know, whether it was cause or not, in my mind, didn't matter. I was like, you should be allowed to work. Like, what the fuck is he working for? And they're like, well, they're too scared to stop him because he's doing too good. Anyway, so I remember pinching your cheek and going, dude, you got real angry at me. And I was like, when you're done with this thing, you can come stay with me. I'm doing something else. I'm getting out of this whole racket. I was going to go back and do the green building. I put 3 years in after that, had my own little, or 4 years, had my own little green building design firm, and rode that pretty far, you know, got to about $3 million of the business. Anyway, one day I get a call from, I guess it was Krynen, and then it was your dad. And going, we can't find TBEAR. And I was like, what do you mean you can't find him? Well, he quit and he fucked off. No one knows where he is, right? And I was like, oh, what's he doing, right? And they said he wasn't in a great mental state, and he just took off. I go, well, okay. And then your dad was calling, Andrew. They're calling me every day. Me, I don't know why, but anyway, for some reason they're calling me, and then I was like, I don't know, I can't get a hold of him either. So it turns out TBEAR takes his phone, smashes it or chucks it in a lake or behind a car. I don't know. What'd you do with your phone?
Corner of the room. I literally looked at it. It was like 90.
Source of all my problems.
No, 90 plus messages.
Yeah. Like
on there, because I was going away and like I was getting finished. Everybody wanted everything as we transitioned out, and wasn't going to do that. So yeah, I smashed it. I went off. I went off the peninsula and went golfing.
Yeah. So no didn't tell anybody. No phone. Pure
came back actually quite happy.
Had a great time. So he rolls up at my place with a U-Haul, with a BMW X5 with a U-Haul behind it. Hauls up, and I was talking to someone. They go, "Well, fuck, that's TBEAR's X5 right outside, that silver one you had there."
Yeah.
And he pulls up and he goes, "Well, I'm here." I had a 1-bedroom apartment in Kits. Anyway, we cleared out some space and gave him what we called the dog bed, which half of it was still underneath my desk.
Yep.
I think your feet went under the desk or something like this.
I can remember you tippy-tapping in the morning while I was trying to still sleep in a bit.
So I was like, he's like, I'm done. And I go, okay, just you can sleep here for a while, and you know, come and we'll train you a bit. And that's kind of how it started. Just you know?
Yeah.
Slept in the dog bed.
So the dog bag worked out every day.
Worked out every day. Yeah.
That was a new schedule.
That was the new schedule. And yeah, I remember TBEAR had his little computer. Eventually, you put your little computer up somewhere in that room too. And then I would find toilet paper rolls there. I was like, TBEAR, why are there toilet paper rolls? It's like the computer.
Too much time in my hands.
I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, okay, so take me from you got yourself fit, you got your mind came around, and you were, that you came in October. I think it was October 2000, September or October 2005.
September 2005, yeah,
2005. So by the time I know I left you almost in charge, I was dating this half a supermodel from the Czech Republic that I was completely in love with. Turned out she had a boyfriend back in the Czech Republic. Oh. That's tough.
My girlfriend has a boyfriend. My girlfriend has a boyfriend. I remember that.
Yeah, my girlfriend's got a boyfriend. I didn't know. Anyway, we obviously broke up, but anyway, she got rid of the boyfriend, then wanted me back, and it was like a long drama. But I had to go. She wasn't allowed in the country. This was now getting into 2006.
Yep.
The Gypsies or the Roma would be coming into Canada using the healthcare system and all that shit, right? So she couldn't even get in. Like, couldn't, no matter what. Like, it would sponsor her or what. You couldn't even get a 1 week tourist visa. Nothing. So I had to go meet her in Thailand, and I was all bent out of shape about her. And so I think it was March or April 2006. What do you mean?
March.
February, March. I think March was
March.
Yeah. I left the gym to TBEAR and puppy. Didn't even have a L1 cert then, I don't think. Or did you have?
We did. We went down there and we did Santa Cruz in March, early March, right? It was basically, you left about 5 weeks later.
So let's even back up further. Like that, the reason why we got into it because of Dave Werner. He was the first affiliate in the world. I think we ended up being the fifth. But
yeah,
what was that like going into his place and the first time you ever walked into Dave Werner's gym?
Yeah, I've told the story a couple of times. I was like across the room. There's a wrestling mat. There's somebody doing 95-pound overhead squats. I'm like, what the hell is that? Right. They got ropes up to like a 50-foot ceiling.
That's a high ceiling.
But they also have like the rings with like the whole gymnastic support system. So it like
the harness,
harness that could, so we could do muscle ups, but it's half our weight, right? Because the mechanical advantage. So love that. But I just ended up loving what they started to do in there, right? It was just like all this barbell stuff, all this gymnastic stuff is all put together, right?
There wasn't even a class or nothing, right?
It was kind of like you went in and like
fucked around with shit.
Dave would just take me into the corner and start doing a whole personal with me for about 30-35 minutes, right? But that was kind of it. Like a coach,
you didn't even pay him.
I don't think I paid him that time. No,
I paid him $50 a week just to show up there and do whatever.
No, I remember crying and paying.
He's a great guy, actually.
Crying was paying an extra maybe $200, and that was him to get the key to the place as well as do all the classes and working out. And he'd bring me in probably when he wasn't supposed to, and introducing to all this new form of new protocol of fitness. Yeah,
it was a trip. That place. They weren't. It was a good man. You knew they went into business a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, they split up and tried to do a co-op of the whole place. And
Dave would never let me talk to him about the business side of things after a while. His wife, Nancy, was unbelievable too. They were actually really good people. Okay. So, let's move it back up to March 2006. I can't believe I did it. I was like, I had two guys that didn't know shit. And I didn't know a whole lot then either, but we had gotten ourselves out of the hole. Everybody knows my story or whatever. Or if you haven't, I've sold it so many times, I'm bored of it. But we almost went bankrupt. Then I got rid of all the partners. Then TBEAR showed up and we started over with personal training and all the stuff. It led to Madlab's 8 laws now and this kind of thing. But so I leave the whole business to these guys. And Puppy's got a full-time job. And you didn't know much. But so you went down to your first cert probably in February, right?
Yep.
Well, what was that first cert like?
It was madness. It was absolute madness. I can remember them. They were hanging like explosion-proof pipe from the ceilings, and like the pull-up bars were you know, you almost had to pull up because the guy behind you was kipping so hard, threw you up there, right? At the cert.
Greg had that new building,
It was ridiculous. But it was also really, really cool because back then they had, I'm trying to think of who the fighter was. Rutherford. Rutherford was there. Like almost everybody.
Chuck
Liddell's trainer was there. So he came in bare feet. I held the bags for him for a little demo.
Black fingernail paint or toe polish or whatever.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah, he's a crazy cool dude. And we had
John Hackelman.
Hackelman.
Yeah. Dave Camarillo, who was like the jiu-jitsu champion of the United States. It was like,
yeah. And this is when what's his name?
Was Robbie Wolf there in your first one?
Rob Wolf was there. Yeah. Dave Castor was there.
Yeah. Dave
came
after me.
Dave was actually not presenting at all. He is there for a dumbbell Rutherford demo.
Yeah.
And he was in there. We had a parkour guy, and then that's the first day that our starting strength guy showed up.
Mark Riptoe.
Riptoe. Yeah, he was there as well. So got all these, like, they're bringing in the best people in the business in all these different realms.
Yeah.
And it was quite mesmerizing. And the certs back then were just ridiculous. Like, we worked out probably 3 times each day, could barely walk and straighten our arms the next day and after. We learned a lot, but obviously what they delved out to us was just unbelievable. Too harsh.
Well, that got worse as it went on. In my first, like, I was in for a year and a half before that. My first few, wasn't like that. It got crazier and crazier. My first couple of certs, we'd go behind Greg's house, and everybody would. I didn't know what weed smoker. Most guys would be smoking weed, and they had the barrel fire and drink beer, and they would buy pizzas, and it was like a small town hoedown behind the house, right? That 1-bedroom fucking shack that they were renting there. Right? Yeah. So between then, that was 2006. You got involved, and somehow I went to Thailand and came back. There was half the business was left. You know what I mean?
More than half was left.
All the PT guys were gone, but yeah, most of the guys in class were. Most of the guys in class kind of hung in there. I was gone like 5 weeks or maybe a little more than that. Actually, that was a great trip.
Yeah, but if you think back, that's when Kermit came in. That's when JB and Mars came in, right?
Yeah. After that,
Kelly, the machine, right?
Yeah. It was amazing. So when you see those days, those early days, and the difference between them and the difference between now, what's the biggest thing that strikes you?
As far as atmosphere,
the coaching atmosphere, but what you're doing for your job, I guess, would be probably the biggest thing.
Oh, yeah. So definitely, CrossFit's evolved. It's there. We do portions of that right now, but it's about moving better. So it's back then we were only coached really by the man. Right. And
Greg was our coach.
These hardcore, workouts between Angie and Barbara and Cindy and like it was completely full body, no rest, super potent.
Low carb diet on top of
it. Kipping pull-ups are just like you're allowed. You're doing the same amount of work. We're all just getting brainwashed. Believing that all these movements should be done regardless of where you're at, and we were putting people through the paces like that. It was ridiculous. After we felt euphoric and great, but was that the best introduction for people coming in to get fit?
Yeah, we lost a lot of good people over the years because you couldn't do that. How long could you really do that for? Even if you had no mechanical problems, which the people who had mechanical problems were immediately ruled out. They're just going to get hurt, right?
Yeah, the vast majority weren't going to do that, right? We made it 3-4 years, right? And then all these little ailments started coming up, right? But that's kind of that's what happens in that kind of brand new deal. We're all educating ourselves at the same time as all this grows. And we didn't know any better.
We didn't know any better.
No.
Greg probably did know better or should have known better, but I mean, he was the euphoria that you felt from that in the first year and a half transferred over to everything, which built your business and built his business, and everything stems from that kind of euphoric energy is fucking addictive. Right?
It made working out a lot of fun, right? That's probably what got me addicted. And then, the results were like, man, this made me fit pretty fucking quick.
Pretty quick.
You come around pretty quick.
Right.
And you see the gains and you're just, I'm on.
Right. So what's the problem with that? And why doesn't that work forever? And why don't we do that anymore?
It's more about the foundational skills, and, us as coaches now, we really understand, kind of what's needed to get to different levels. And there's no, you gotta be smart with it. Right. And, you shouldn't be doing this and that until, some of your structure is the more foundational stuff is there. Right. If it's not there, why are we doing these, snatches and cleans and catching them wrong and, all kinds of potential places to go wrong. Right.
Yeah.
And now we've seen that as the amount of people that have come into the business into the gym and do that. That's not going to work. It's not going to be sustainable long term.
Yeah. Why won't it be sustainable long term?
Because people get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's different kinds of hurt, like the immediate one with the bad shoulders or whatever. That shows up pretty quick. But for me, I got adrenal fatigue from, when you're the leader of the gym, you don't want to let anybody kind of be in the score. All that stuff I used to think about back in 2007, 8.
Oh, the leaderboard.
When Andy finally, the leaderboard, right? So let's talk about that for a minute. So that leaderboard, running the business, you kind of thought you had to be at the top of that board until I finally, at the barn in 2008, Andy beat me in the best workout that I could possibly do. The speed monk or whatever. It was kind of some variation of a Fran thing.
Yeah.
And with a little more rest. And then I was like, okay, you got the mantle now. You can run with it. And I was fucking tired by that point. I remember being just exhausted. So talk about that evolution into what we do now and how that doesn't work and that whole piece, right?
Yeah, that extreme fitness.
Yeah.
I basically call it. It's not sustainable for 300 plus clients that are coming into your gym, right? What's sustainable is, now that we have 6, 7 full-time coaches, they have to fill their day with really getting their people to master movements. And we know that building that base and that foundation is going to lead them to being a client for life.
Right.
Right. And that's the smart way to do it.
Right. Right. And if you push them too hard for too fast or too long, it's just, if you try to go to the CrossFit Games every year, what's the shelf life of that?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
A year or two, unless you're just, genetically blessed.
And that's your job, maybe. You got that's all you're thinking about is your work and rest and having a real relationship with somebody and having a job and stuff. That's to balance that, right? Holy mackerel.
Yeah. I think we were lucky, when I peaked out my fitness, I think it was 2009, 2010, we went to the games, right? And that was me, Andy, Emily, and we were able to get 13th in the world, right? But you start to look at our numbers compared to what's coming out now.
Oh, yeah.
No chance. No, I would have made the kids division. Right? These 14-year-olds are doing more than I am now, or at the time. But it was a lot of fun to kind of build that up. And those experiences allowed us coaches to really use a lot of that personal stuff to share with our clients to get better.
Right.
You know, and I think, yeah, I've had ailments, I've had this and that, but I've seen these workouts. So you know how to game them, you know how to go after them, you know how to train towards them. So I can give a lot of, you know, a lot of knowledge, right? And share what happened in my life, right? To kind of lead them in a better path.
Totally. So we kind of learned the high end. We learned how to take a Ferrari and drive it off a cliff, right? But we didn't learn how to like build the Ferrari.
The bolts weren't quite tight. Right?
Not a bad one.
Yeah. Now, and that's kind of what I say now is like, I use the car analogy, right? Yeah, you're kind of the, you know, I'm not going to say antique car, but you're a vintage car coming in. And now we got to look at your frame.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and look at that chassis. Right. We got to just tighten that up, because think about those corners you want to take down the road. Right. If that chassis isn't there, you know, this ain't working right. My right shoulder wheel, you know, think of it like that. Right. Mm-hmm. So you're building this kind of vintage car back into something that's, you know, athletic.
Right. Right. You mean the thing could be rusted through in a spot, and you can make everything else awesome, right? Yeah. And then it's going to break where it's rusted through. That's a great analogy. I hadn't thought of that analogy. Yeah. That's a great.
You could think of it like a rusted.
TBEAR's got a '69 Mustang that somebody's grandfather rebuilt that needs another rebuilding, I guess now. Right?
Plus, I've had like 10 plus clients, you know, 60 plus,
right?
And I've kind of worked on that analogy.
Yeah. Well, it used to be the kind of the chubby whisperer or something at one point. You had a lot of overweight clients one time, right?
Yeah, I guess I've never turned away a client with limitations.
Right. Right. It's kind of fun, right?
I call them projects, and they know that they're projects. Being in multiple car accidents, broken back, just hammered, shattered ribs. Like, yes, so I've got a lot of experience there and try to rebuild those guys and gals. And, you know, but that keeps it interesting for me, that, hey, I just still challenge myself. We just got to make this person get to a better place. Right. That's what they want. And, you know, we're not going to turn them away because they've had multiple injuries and this and that. Right.
Right. The whole going to the CrossFit Games thing is that, you know, we were never into that, but that's kind of over. If you want to have a good business, you can't have a good business if you're just working. You think you're just going to work with elite athletes. It just doesn't work. Right.
No, you're not going to just work with them. No, you're going to be working with, you know, PhD people that work in all kinds of different industries and with all kinds of challenges in their life too. Right. And that's, you know, some of these 50 plus people are, you know, challenged with handicapped kids, you know, and they're growing older. And how are they going to be able to help their father that's, you know, on the bed, right?
Right.
And then also the younger kids too that are disabled, and as they're getting older, right, they have to have that confidence and you know, I've had many of them come back and say, you know, you're helping me a lot, right? Because I got in this situation, that situation, and everything was good.
Yeah. That's the really rewarding stuff that I don't get to see now. I see it with business owners a bit, but it's remote and virtual, and my life's not as much fun. Gotta find we'll be getting back in there again. Anyway, let's talk about this. Change gears, a couple of things. So, do you think you would be in the fitness industry if it wasn't for the Madlab compensation model and the way we have things set up in there today?
No.
Yeah. Why?
Well, lots of things. For one, you know, the compensation is, you know, if you put in the time with your clientele, they will bring you more people and more clientele. And so it's rewarding there, but also it keeps your paycheck kind of stable, right? As well, I get to basically work my own hours, and I get to basically work with people that I only want to, right? So I have a lot of choice in there, but you know, without those choices, Well, I'd be hamstrung, right? I got to show up 9 to 5. No, thank you.
Right. Get paid by the hour.
I'm all for pay for performance. So I've worked my government job, seen people like really, milk that crap. It wasn't me. So, the opportunity and how we get paid is, hey, you got to do your job well, and you'll have a steady paycheck, and you'll grow, and you'll be excited to come into work the next day.
The clients just don't leave that much. Like, can you remember, losing someone that you really didn't want to lately?
Oh yeah, but it's all due to they constraints on they're living on the North Shore, this and that, right? They'd love to still come in, but it's not unless that person basically gives their dog away, moves over here, that they're going to stick around, right? But yeah, I'm glad we have people that come in from Langley, Tawasin. It's
like an hour in traffic.
Yeah, it's an hour. Yes, they usually have business involved somewhere on either end, but you know what? They found some people, found a community that's really respectful and like really good to be around, right?
Right. How many people do you got still around there that have been there for 10 years? How many on that?
10 years plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I counted on the up there that I had a portion of, right? Be that Kermit, be that, Sheppy. There's 13 of those 30, I think.
Nice.
Which was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. 10 years later, you know what I mean? Like, how many clients did we even have 10 years ago? Right. It wasn't like we had 300 or 500 clients to pick one. By the way,
the big boom was what, 2012?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
11.
Yeah. Yeah, the big boom. Now we just grinded out our own thing. Okay, so if you saw yourself in like a Steve Nash or a Globo gym of some sort, or even a personal training studio, why wouldn't that work?
I think too many restraints, right? The gym floor is full of machines. Yeah, I could.
And the compensation model.
The compensation is completely different, right? I'm not getting rewarded for basically, account management, client management, right? Building relationships with your clients, right? They're coming to get paid, and I'm coming to let's get to the next level, right?
Yeah, you were paid for average client value and retention, which that is. The client needs to win, right? Mm-hmm. And if they don't win, they don't do well, you don't get paid. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Let's shift gears again. I just wanted to touch on that just a little bit. Let's go a couple more deeper here. So, you've been doing this for 12 years. I think the number you've done at least, except for your 1 year sort of sabbatical thing there, you did at least 80,000 a year. I think most in the last 10 years.
Yep, pretty much. I'd say that. Yeah.
And how many hours a week are you on the floor for the most part?
It does go up and down throughout the year, but I do coach classes like right now. I'm doubled up on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But I will come in and do, 5, 6 PTs on Monday, and then usually a half day on Wednesday. Try to take Saturday, Sunday off. I also have Wednesday morning off. So I always hover around about 30 probably.
Yeah, that's sustainable.
Kind of 30 floor hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that's working a lot, but it's sort of the edge of sustainability there.
Yeah, that's not all the time either, right? There's times when things are a little bit lean and you got less PTs or less people that are consistently in PTs, right? And then you got a little bit less time on the floor. But it's a good schedule.
Yeah. You work, 6 or 7 group classes a week?
Yep.
Which one is it now?
6.
6, yeah, that's good. And then how many weeks of vacation did you take last year, or you're out of town?
Yeah, I've been pretty consistent with my vacations, and and this and that. So, you know, you got me into this job saying that, hey, I want you to be able to have, you know, 6 to 8 weeks vacation. I'm like, oh fuck, if I could do that.
Yeah, that's fucking good.
That's a good job.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I don't think there's been a year where I've taken less than 5 weeks.
So this year, TBEAR just got married. He married the GM at the school, Dashy, which is a good little success story. Tell us a bit about that and how many people showed up, and that was a pretty cool community thing.
Yeah, super cool. We got married over in New Zealand January 6th. Luckily, we had 24 Canadians come out with us at, I think there's 75 at the wedding. So it was a great contingent. Yeah, easily, I think it was 12 from the gym and 12 from my family.
Yeah.
So pretty, you know, that's pretty cool to have that, that tight of knit friends, knit a little bit of work, right? Knit family.
Yeah. I was proud of it. It was a good win. It's a great time. I love New Zealand. Shot a deer and surfed in the same day. I actually wore the same shoes to your wedding as I did hunting.
Jesus, really?
Those Converse are great. You want to open up that other beer and we'll maybe take another 5 or 10 minutes?
All right.
So what was it like when you first, like I'm trying to, like we kind of figured this out. TBEAR helped me figure out our compensation model was, you know, we didn't have any of this figured out. Like, so if you go to Santa Cruz now, great people, especially Annie Sakamoto, shout out to her. They're kind of running the model that Greg had 15 years ago there, which doesn't lead to any profit in the business. You know what I mean? It's the old school one where they have group classes and they have personal training and they, you know, the trainer gets 80%, you know, and then we started off with that. So for me, like I knew that if I couldn't keep TBEAR around, I wasn't going to win. So we had to figure out a different way. Because what the fitness industry had out there didn't work, because who the fuck sticks around, right? They're all gone. So you talk a little bit about those early days of us, you know, figuring that compensation model out, and then we had to change it a few times and had to claw some back from you and stuff. What that was like?
What was it like? You know, even at the beginning, I think all of us thought it was still kind of difficult, right? We're like, you know, my paychecks went way down from what I used to be doing and all that. But I saw that, hey, if I was good at my job, I could bring 3-4 people in a month, right? And then keep them at like 70%, right? Because they were referrals. That was a decent amount of income coming back and forth if you can kind of keep that growth going. Right. And obviously at that time we got into about 4 coaches.
I brought in about 10 at one time. I remember we had the first cert outside of the US there in 2000.
I guess we'd say before that we didn't really have the real class where everybody, like I was allowed to have.
You had your 5 o'clock.
I have my 5 o'clock with my 4 clients that paid me probably double what people paid in class, because they wanted to stay with me.
I forgot about
right.
that.
And so there's that little bit of a battle there, but they would do that because that's just, they could afford it. And they enjoyed that. And then going forward, we had to, they're still all, well, most of them are still around.
They're still around. That
the main,
your 5 o'clock crew,
the main crew there.
So just to explain, this is a little bit cryptic, but like we started off, Greg was my coach, and you know what he did was he was a personal trainer, and then he put people in small groups after they'd been fully personally trained, and or he brought someone in to a group that was already fully trained and this kind of thing, and the trainers got 80%, and you know that was not sustainable. But anyway, TBEAR had his own little group at 5. I had my little group at 6. I think Andy or Sheppy had 7. Andy went off. I think Andy started.
Was it Charlie first?
No, Sheppy was before
Sheppy was
Charlie got the
16. 8. Yeah, Charlie got the 8. That's
8
right.
o'clock love class.
Yeah, no, I think it was Sheppy.
Yeah,
or Sheppy got the 4.
Sheppy ended up getting the 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, that evolution. It didn't seem that difficult. We just kind of like. What did it seem like to you? It was every day TBEAR and I were living together for 2 or 3 years doing this too.
No, it started getting in seamless, but it was like the evolution like you were finding, and we were all correcting, trying to find the right balance and way to go about the whole system, right? And that was still like early days, right? But still, at that time, we were still doing, easily 10 PTs prior to them getting in, right?
Oh yeah,
we did a few,
minimum of 10.
We did a few that we actually never. I don't even think we really did a on ramp. Did we try an on ramp?
Well, when I went to Thailand, Andrew had come up with that 3-session on ramp thing.
The on ramp, yeah.
And then we had a massive churn problem. And then Andy tried doing it in the morning because he had enough time. And then he developed the churn problem.
Yeah.
He came to me and said, "That's it. We're blowing that out." And then Sheppy got wise that he could make more dollar per hour. He figured that out. And then he had a churn problem with it and was like, "Fuck it, we're not doing that anymore." You know what I mean?
It just shows you like the client relationship is probably number one.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, would you even imagine taking on 5 people at once that are brand new newbies? Like,
no.
What would be the problem with that?
I just cannot give the personal attention, that personal interaction, that is needed for a long-term client.
You wouldn't even consider it, right? Like, there's no way.
I don't consider even 3 now. Like 2, yes. 2 is okay. 2 is doable. 3 is like, I'll still try to almost talk them out of it.
You can't do it. 2 is only if they're friends and they can agree to this fucking schedule, right? You still do it. Remember, if the person that doesn't show up has to pay for the full session for both of them, you still do that?
Yep.
Little rule? Yeah, that's a good one.
Well,
the person that doesn't show up has to pay for the whole personal training session.
Yeah, so they got to give and then the lead time, right? The 24 hours, right?
Yeah. And I found in that, I did that a bunch of 2 of them, and it worked, like Matt Walker and the Jackal and those guys. Hacksaw and the Jackal were the last 2 guys I ever did that with. And they were such good friends. If one guy had genital herpes, the other guy would know, and you could fucking say it. Like, as long as there was nothing in the road, you know what I mean? Like, you could say almost anything.
Yeah.
Because then they could each come up with their own goals and reasons for being there. And there's like in a group that I think that one-on-one thing just fosters an honesty and a depth of conversation you can't get in that group, which is that what you see?
Yeah, definitely. It's non-doable anymore.
Yeah.
So you don't see, almost every one of us coaches now will not do it.
Yeah.
Just
know from experience. It's a big thing out in the fitness industry too. I shield you guys from this a little bit, but like, people think that this gym launch or New You and all these, basically they're mass marketing to bring people into a big group on ramp, and they think, oh shit, I'm winning, and they'll spend $10,000 in a month in a fucking Facebook ad, and they'll get $25,000 worth in the first month. They think, oh, I'm winning, right?
Yeah. Show me some long-term data there.
Yeah, right.
I will bet against you.
Yeah, you got no chance, right? But I mean, people it's like anything in the fitness world, like 4-minute abs. Oh shit, 2-minute abs is better, and the owners are just as suspect to that message, the quick win, right?
It's unfortunate, right?
Yeah. So okay, let's just talk about a couple of last things. Why do you still do this?
Kind of what I alluded to earlier. It's like, I do have my crew, but I'm also like, I get rewarded from those people coming in that, I don't know if you could help me or not. Right. So, bringing those, I don't know what you call them, like suspect people, have issues. Right. But hey, totally turn their mind around, physically as well. And, they can get to a better place. I really get jacked with that. I like to problem solve. I think we're all in there for, like, if I have that, I'm continuously always encouraged to learn, right? I'm constantly engaged in, like, man, how am I going to fix this puzzle kind of thing, right? That's my engineering mind, but I like it, right? So it keeps me, I don't know what the word is, cognizant, it's like, hey, we have, everybody at different levels and different types and different circumstances, right? And so your job is it's not like you bring the same person in that has the same goals, right? Or the same past. It's like everybody's individual and it's different. I like that in that. I don't like to see monotony. I like having different problems coming at me. So that keeps me intrigued, keeps me going. Again, the hours, I like that I can set my schedule pretty much, and I can go away at Christmas and get myself some sun.
We've hit if you can see the sun setting here in Vancouver. It's actually a sunny day, but it's cold in the wintertime when it's sunny here. So
yeah.
Yeah, so you're heading back to New Zealand again for Christmas, right?
Yeah, Christmas I take off. I guess we're up in the air for the real day. Yeah, we fly out at 7 on the 24th, and we arrive at 5 a.m. on 26th.
Miss Christmas.
Well, Christmas is up there.
Yeah, when we went to your wedding, we missed New Year's Eve, but we hit it up there. The guy actually brought me a whole bottle of Johnny Walker Black, sat it down in front of me, and said, "Fill your boots."
Nice. Nice. I hope that happens.
The premium economy, or whatever the fuck that thing was called. It was good. If you got some advice, and we'll close it off with, you got some advice that people that have been in the system, 2 people I'm thinking of, people that have been in the system and they're grinding. You had to grind for a few years before you got over to the other side, and you saw Tom and all the guys that grinded. What would be your advice to those guys?
Yeah, don't leave it all in the gym. Get to know your clients, right? Getting out with them, you're going to hear a whole different side. You're going to have a whole different opportunity for them to build you up to maybe some of their friends. And, if you get involved in their lives a bit, right? Opportunity comes a little bit easier.
Right.
So don't just wait or be in that gym floor all the time, right? That's not the end all be all. Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah, you have to be a little bit well rounded. Okay, that person and someone who's like working in the fitness industry, that's a coach in a personal training studio or a global gym. What's the opportunity with what you're doing versus that? Yeah,
they're again restricted, right? With when they can work. And who they can work with, right? They get placed with people where we have the opportunity to, grab our own clientele, as well as service those people that come in through the door and the website and so forth. But it's more rewarding because it's more based on your performance, right? I'm not doing a job. Well, and I'm doing like a regular job.
Well, you can get paid as much or as little as you can kind of figure out, I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You still have to be an entrepreneur, right? You still got to sell yourself and be okay with, doing intros and doing all those kinds of things, right? If you're not, you're going to have a tough time.
Right.
So get used to it, make sure you make your job something that you love.
Right. So you mentioned a couple of things there. I'm just kind of observing from your thing. Like, what do you think is more important for these guys? Account management or to learn the next super technique? Right.
Obviously it's about learning about your clients.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's relationships first. Doesn't mean to say that you have to do your, the level of coaching that is from 10 years ago to now is at a whole different level, right? We're dealing with so many different intricate things that are coming up. And then we have so much more knowledge to apply, right? And even between us coaches in the gym, right? Everybody's, keeping us to a spot that, hey, we've got to elevate our game, right? If you don't elevate your game, you get left behind.
Right.
So that education a bit has to be done, but don't, you got to make sure you balance your account management at the same time.
If you're not making money, you don't need the next new thing. But if you're making money, you got to stay relevant. And you got to keep on getting better. Right? Yeah. Okay. I get it.
Yep.
You did a lot of sales training in your life. How important is that?
It's everything, right? If you can't sell yourself or you can't sell your own ideas, right? That's that leads to what? No confidence.
Yeah.
And that's just a lifelong skill that everybody should learn, regardless of their job they're in. Is you know, what sales is, and you know how it goes about.
Well, TBEAR, I love you. Thanks for sticking around with us for 13 years. You think you got another 13 in you?
We'll see.
In Vancouver, all we got to do is get rent and raise prices, I guess. Eh?
Well, you never know what's going to happen, right?
You never know what's going to happen. One day at a time.
I hope it comes around.
Well, a little cheers, man. Thanks a lot, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Any one last thing you'd like to say? Anybody listening?
And yeah, just even through the holidays, right? Get back in the gym, do your stuff, right? Don't go too crazy, right? Balance it out.
You know, go skiing.
Yeah.
I'm going to Lethbridge. Actually.
Get your extracurricular activities in.
All right. Well, this is the Pink Pig with my buddy TBEAR here. Wishing you a happy holidays. I'm going to be taking the next few weeks off. And, boop. Thanks, Steve.
You bet.